Good morning, dear friends. Today is the 21st day of March in the year 2019, and we are in the full moon meditation hall of the New Hamlet. We welcome you to New Hamlet for a day of mindfulness practice together on this beautiful spring day. I knew spring had arrived when I heard the blackbirds singing. Les merles. They are the first birds to arrive, and when they sing, their song penetrates everywhere. Their song lasts long enough for us to stop and listen and be nourished by the beauty of the song of the blackbirds. One day I was enjoying walking meditation in Upper Hamlet, and I was looking at the beautiful green grass. Suddenly I saw pacorets, the tiny little daisies that are the first flowers of spring. And I said to myself, spring has arrived. Even before the official date of spring beginning, which I believe was yesterday, the spring equinox. So we know that when we live in the present moment, we can be aware of so many things, so many wonders of life that are always available to us. Thai has said that mindfulness is an energy, is our capacity to be aware. Mindfulness also has another word, another meaning, which means remembrance. And these two senses of the word really help me in my daily practice. I remember to stop and come back to myself and breathe with awareness. So remembering is also part of our mindfulness practice. We don't have to remember all the sutras or all of the 5 mindfulness trainings. We don't have to remember everything. That's the good news. But what is helpful is to remember just enough. Just enough for me is being able to slow down, to stop, to breathe, to let go of the tension that may be in my body. Mindfulness practice also helps us live deeply the present moment. So the word present moment has also been described by Thai as the here and now. I'm living right now. I'm not thinking of the past or the future. And I'm right here. I'm not somewhere else. That means my mind is with my body, connected to my body. It's not traveling to another place, another country, but it's just here and now. One day I asked myself, the word present moment, now, what does that mean really? The word moment is there, so it's a short period of time, right? A moment. Present means here and now. So what is this moment that I'm living here and now? Is it long enough for me to really experience something in the present moment? So I thought, all right, maybe there's some practices that will help me prolong this experience of the present moment? How can I remain fully present longer than a moment? You know, we don't say present minute, present hour, present day, present month, present year. No, the word is present moment. So each moment is precious. The time that it takes for me to breathe in and out is not very long, a few seconds, and these are the moments of mindful breathing. So I discovered in practicing, yes, there were some practices that would help me experience the present moment as more than a moment, longer. The first practice was my breathing. As I breathe in, I'm aware of my body. I'm aware of my lungs. I'm aware of the air, the temperature of the air. I'm aware if there are any fragrant spring flowers that are offering their beautiful perfume. The hyacinth now are blooming, because we are further along in spring. First there were the pacorets, followed by the dandelions, and now the hyacinth and irises are blooming. All right, so while breathing in with mindfulness, I can be aware of many things, and this is prolonging my awareness in the present moment. As I breathe out, I can let go of the tension in my body. So I'm aware of any tension that may be there as I'm breathing in, and as I'm breathing out, I release, I let go, I relax. So this discovery that my mindful breathing actually prolonged my experience of the present moment made me very happy. I was very happy to discover that. And then I looked at some other practices we do. Walking meditation, for example. Can the present moment be prolonged with my experience of walking? And then I tried. I make a step, I'm aware of the earth beneath my feet. I make another step, I hear the pebbles moving under my shoe. As I continue to walking, I'm aware of breathing in for 2 steps, and breathing out for 3 or 4 steps. So this awareness with my footsteps also prolonged my experience of the present moment. I was fully there. I was concentrating on my breathing and my footsteps as I walked. Another practice? Is there another practice that can prolong the experience of the present moment? I discovered eating meditation. And how is that? Because when we're eating in silence, when I was eating in silence, I was just chewing the food and tasting it. How delicious. Looking at the orange carrots, the green broccoli, appreciating the taste of the casserole, you know, the vegetables, the salty dish that the sisters prepare. And I was simply present for this experience of tasting the food. So there was concentration, yes. I discovered that if I eat more slowly and relax when I'm eating, I'm more fully here and now in the present moment. So the experience of eating mindfully, just being with the food, the flavor, the texture, chewing well, all of these aspects of eating mindfully, I was aware of, and that prolonged my experience of the present moment. Now, perhaps if there are some physicists listening, perhaps you will say, not possible. Time cannot be prolonged. I don't know. But I ask for your kind indulgence or understanding of something that really helped me appreciate these aspects of the practice, where I'm just aware of my breathing, my footsteps, eating mindfully. And I remained in the present moment. So my thought was, all right, I've extended my experience of living in the present moment without the scientific validation that it's possible. There is a wonderful Japanese haiku poet who lived in the 16th century, I believe. His name is Basho. And he wrote a beautiful little tiny haiku poem. And I think it's a very nice poem to share on this day of spring. He said, "Sitting quietly, doing nothing. Spring comes and the grass grows by itself." Wow, that's real Zen, isn't it? Right now we're sitting quietly, doing nothing. Spring continues to arrive more and more each day. And we know the grass grows because the sisters just cut the grass. And all the pacarets and the dandelions also disappeared. But the miracle of life is that they will come back again. I know that. Sitting quietly, doing nothing. Spring comes and the grass grows by itself. So this is our practice for lazy day. Sit quietly. We don't have to do anything. We hope all of us will find a way to have some hours of laziness. If you return tomorrow to your daily life, wherever it is, think in terms of creating some lazy hours. Sit quietly, do nothing. We might add, because we're practitioners, do nothing except mindful breathing, mindful walking, mindful eating. But you can still sit quietly and do nothing. Important thing is when sitting quietly is to not think about the past or the future. Just be with whatever is there. If thoughts come, all right, the thoughts are coming. I accept them, I embrace them, and then I let go of my thinking. I come back to doing nothing, sitting quietly and breathing. You know, to do nothing is not easy. We have habit energies. We have ideas that we should do this or do that. We have 100 projects, it seems. We have so many things to do. Recently, I was aware of so many things I had to do. And just this awareness of all the things I had to do gave me an unpleasant feeling. Now I'm saying that nicely. Maybe I felt anxiety, I felt fear, I felt How can it be possible? I have all these things to do. Maybe some of you have experienced that in your lives. So much to do. So I just breathed in and out. Yeah, a lot to do. And what I decided was that it would be helpful to me if I could prioritize. What's the most important thing? Now that takes some thinking, doesn't it? How do I know what's the most important thing? Is the most important thing in terms of my values? The love and expectation of other people? Is that the most important thing? If so, then I have to do that right away. Or is the most important thing what I have to do tomorrow? So to simplify my life, I decided when I was in this situation of so much to do, and I added not enough time to do it. That also goes with so much to do. You see, I don't have enough time. How can I squeeze it all in? Can I extend the 24 hours a little bit? Like I extend the present moment? Can I do that? I don't think so. I couldn't. All right, so much to do, too much to do, not enough time to do it. Prioritize. Oh, another possibility is to delegate. Yes. Yes, you can ask others to do some of those things, but we have to know when. When should it be done? All right, so now we're really tied in a knot. Can't get out. So what I decided just to simplify my life is I decided, all right, I'll do what I have to do tomorrow. I just decided tomorrow. And that simplified it a little bit. And then when tomorrow arrived, which is actually today, I looked at another tomorrow. Okay, what can I do tomorrow? So in other words, it was taking one day at a time, one step at a time. And that's the only way that we can enjoy walking meditation, correct? One step at a time. Have we tried to take a half step? What's a half step? Half of your foot. Well, I don't know. Taking a step means, to me, is we move forward. Yeah. We're going forward. And that's why walking meditation for me is always so positive, because I see I'm actually moving forward. I'm not going backwards. I'm not stuck. I'm moving. I'm not going sideways or up and down, all the 10 directions. I'm moving forward. So when there's so much to do, too much to do, not enough time to do it, I decided, okay, what do I have to do today? And that helped also. So I limited, what do I need to do today? And then as I looked at the list, what do I need to do tomorrow? But it took some time to just reflect. And if I couldn't find the answer right away, I said, okay, I'll look again this afternoon. I give my consciousness more time to solve the problem. The store consciousness, more time. Because a lot of our understanding and wisdom and insight doesn't come from the thinking mind. The thinking mind can do mathematics and know that it's time to put more gas in the car. The thinking mind has its function, but for the deeper decisions and understanding, it's our store consciousness that contains so many seeds of understanding and wisdom. Let us give ourselves a chance now to pause, come back to ourselves and enjoy breathing as we listen to one sound of the bell. So dear friends, mindfulness has also been described as our capacity to be fully present. Fully present in the here and now so we can touch the wonders of life, the beauty surrounding us. We can be aware of our beloved ones. We can be aware of all aspects of life in the animal, vegetal, and mineral worlds, aware of Mother Earth. So we are aware of what is happening within us in terms of our body, in terms of our mind, our feelings, perceptions, mental formations, which we could call emotions, the psychological emotions, such as happiness, peace, joy, fear, anxiety, despair. And then aware of the objects of mind, the state of the world in its largest sense. It also entails being fully present to oneself, to be there for oneself. And sometimes that's not so easy. When we have so much to do, too much to do, not enough time. How can I possibly be there for myself? How can I give myself permission to actually give myself time? Tai, in his wisdom, I believe, created the noble silent period for us at night. So we think it's just so we won't talk. No talking, please. It has a deeper meaning, a deeper application. It means we have time to be with ourselves. And this is so wonderful. So we start with noble silence, and then during this time we can come back to ourselves. How has this day been? Yeah, what did I notice? What brought me happiness? Did I experience a difficult emotion? A difficult moment in a relationship? Did I want to sing? Did I want to dance, pick flowers? How was this day for me in its entirety? So we reflect. If you like to write, you can keep a journal. It's recommended you try this before sleeping every night, to empty the mind of anything that might keep you awake thinking. You put it on paper, and then when you're ready to lie down and sleep, you won't have to think about the whole day at that moment. There's a beautiful little gatha that is part of the evening chants. It says, "The day has now ended. The sun has gone down." Perhaps if we've given ourselves permission to actually go outside and look at the sunset. Oh, that's so wonderful. In spring, the sunsets are amazing. Golden and red, or if the sky is clear, it's a truly wonderful experience. The day has now ended. I saw the sunset. I know for certain the day has ended. I don't need more proof than the sunset. Okay? Our lives are shorter. Well, in terms of linear time, the historical dimension, maybe so. Our lives are shorter by one day. But you know, modern science, there's an amazing technology now. Perhaps they're able to prolong our lives. And I think that's true to some extent. Both truths can be possible. Our lives are shorter, but there's cutting-edge science now that's saying, well, we can prolong your life. Maybe it's not shorter. So we leave two possibilities, but the poem says, the day has now ended, our lives are shorter. We ask ourselves, what have I done today? Oh, has it? Well, we can tick off all the things we did. And if we can add, I stopped, I had a pause, I did a few minutes of mindful breathing, that's also part of what we've done. I've enjoyed walking meditation. What have I done today? I've practiced mindfulness for 5 minutes. Wow, that counts. 1 minute of sitting meditation before going to work counts. Please believe me. If you wake up in the morning and you want to begin mindful breathing before you do anything else, we've recommended already that everyone sit up in bed before your feet touch the earth, even before your feet touch the floor. Sit up, enjoy 3 mindful breaths. You're already practicing. And then you can brush your teeth, wash your face, but you start your day. You open the motor of mindfulness, turn on the key of mindfulness, the first thing in the morning. What have I done today? Okay, so the list doesn't have to be too long. You're aware. What have I done today? Oh, dear friends, let us practice diligently. Let us put our whole heart into our practice. And this, of course, is thinking about tomorrow, because the day is ending. Let me see if I can put my whole heart into one aspect of the practice tomorrow. Maybe I want to chew my food 10 times before swallowing, okay? Or maybe I want to breathe in and out 2 times with my whole heart when the telephone rings in the office before picking it up. Let me put my whole heart into one little practice that I like. So we have to add a practice that I like. Let me practice diligently this practice. And diligently means not forcing myself, but just continuing. Let me practice this in a continual way. I will do it diligently. And the final line is, so that life does not flow away without meaning. So we give meaning to our life. Every day we bring meaning to our life. So life doesn't drift away without meaning. So we give meaning to our life with enjoying something that is wholesome and nourishing. And for us, it's mindfulness practice. Okay, being fully present to myself. I give myself permission to take care of myself, take care of my body, and that means taking care of my health, being aware of my health, the state of my health, and then learning ways to protect my health, to improve it, to enjoy this body that I have. It's very, very wonderful. It is reported that the Buddha said that the body is the horse from which we cannot dismount. That means it's the horse which we cannot get down from. But that's a duality, but anyway. So, we're with our body. Do I know how to be a best friend to myself? So friendship is important in our lives. And of course we're a friend to others, but am I a friend to myself? And how can I learn to be a friend to myself? And one of the ways I've looked into this and tried different ways is by admitting to myself when I need a pause, when I need space, when I need to, we say, come back to myself. And it's okay to admit it, because that's the first step in being a friend. You're there. I'm here for myself. And sometimes it's not in the schedule. Okay, time to be a friend to yourself. Where do you squeeze it in? It's there all the time. So how is that possible? All right, so what I do is I just stop for a minute and I recognize I'm a friend. A friend will tell me, if, you're not doing so good now, you're upset. All right, that's what a friend is there, to help you know and support you. So I say to myself, at this moment I have an unpleasant feeling. That's being a friend to myself. I don't have to name the feeling. It takes a long time to find the right word to describe unpleasant feeling. So I say, this is unpleasant feeling. That's enough. And then I stop, I breathe in and out. And while I'm breathing in and out, I know the strength of the unpleasant feeling. It's just a little bit of not feeling so good, or maybe it's a real big unpleasant feeling, such as irritation, sadness, something along those lines, rage, anger, all that. So I know the scale of this feeling. And now, as a friend to myself, I'm going to take care. So the best place I have found to have space to take care of myself, it's not always the meditation hall, it's not always the dining hall, it's not always my bedroom, it's not always somewhere else in a building. Where is there a lot of space? Outside. There's nothing but space. So if I need space, I go outside. There's lots of space. We share it with the trees and, of course, the flowers, the birds. There's space outside. I go outside if I need space. Okay, so I'm standing outside and there's a lot of space. And I'm being a friend to myself when I have an unpleasant feeling, but I need to do more. Okay, I invite my feet to move. So we walk. I do walking meditation. So, how do I walk? So I walk in a way so that this feeling will not be aggravated or accentuated. So I walk peacefully. If I need to calm myself, I walk slowly and peacefully. I don't walk very quickly, but I walk, normally, not too slow, because then the mind begins to think. So to be a good friend to myself, to give myself space, to take care of an unpleasant feeling, I go outside, there's a lot of space, and I walk. So, and I walk until I feel better. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes I need a half hour, more, 1 hour. So this is just a practice that I do of being fully present to myself. But sometimes we're in relationship and we can't do that. We can't do that, right? We're at work. We can't say, oh, I'm sorry, I have to be a friend to myself, be there for myself. We're at work. So what's the other place we can go to have space? In the past, I don't know how many decades ago, we would say politely, oh please, can you tell me where is the restroom? Cabane d'aisance. I don't know in France if that word has been used in the last 50 years, but we learned it from Thai. At one point in France, there was these two words, cabane d'aisance, meaning restroom. That's a polite word for the toilet, the WC. So, if I need space and I can't go outside, then think, where can I go? And if we're at work or somewhere indoors, then that's a place. Even here in Plum Village, you can always go there. No one will interrupt you or break in. There's a lock. So it's a possibility. Remembering I'm being fully present for myself, taking care of myself, giving myself permission. But it's not always possible. That's the truth. We may have someone who really needs our attention and saying, don't leave me now. Stay. I want us to talk this over, take care of this problem. This is the usual way. So, what can we do? If we're calm enough, we stay and we listen. And we say to ourselves, this person needs my listening to feel heard, to know that I care, to give me an opportunity to practice compassionate, deep listening. So sometimes being fully present for myself also means being fully present for the other, because there's interbeing. The nature of all relationships is the nature of interbeing. That means if I'm happy, my happiness will help my partner, will help my Sangha. My happiness will bring happiness to others. They won't worry about me, or they won't... if I'm not happy, my unhappiness may bring unhappiness to others because of interbeing. We share this collective energy, this collective consciousness. So happiness is not an individual matter, it's collective. So perhaps the best thing I can do, if I can't be fully present to myself when I want to, as long as I want to, is to say, okay, his happiness or her happiness will also be my happiness. So this is something to think about and discuss, how to manage this in relationships. We can make the other person real to us with the gathas or the mantras Thai has written for us to use. We say, darling, I am here for you. Okay, you say that before they begin to speak. Darling, I am here for you. That means you will stay and listen as long as you can. Okay, remember that we all have our limits. If the sharing is too long and too painful, you say, darling, please excuse me now. Can we continue to share with one another tomorrow? Because right now I can't listen anymore. And I really want to listen more and understand you, but right now I can't. Okay, so you know your limit, you respect your limit. Respect yourself, and that's being present for yourself. Another mantra Thai has written for us to use is, I know you are there, and that is why I am here for you. And that is why I am happy. Okay, so we can make these statements of support to others in our relationship. I know you are there, and that is why I am happy. So by listening to the other person share, we can learn more about their suffering, but also their aspirations, their feelings, their needs. And then we can find ways that both of our needs can be met. We first have to be able to listen, to understand. And Thai has said always that understanding brings love, compassion, acceptance, and even forgiveness. So we say it's a process and it takes time. The more we understand ourselves and others, the deeper our acceptance will be. And the more the love can deepen and manifest or begin again. So maybe we can enjoy a pause now. We take care of ourselves. We'll listen to a sound of the bell. Relax, come back to our breathing. We can improve our relationships by understanding the impact that words have on our consciousness and the consciousness of the other person, other people. And to do this, to explain this, I'm going to draw the circle that Thai draws all the time to represent our mind. You know, our mind has a very deep level called the store consciousness. And in the store consciousness are stored all the experiences we've had. The experiences of our ancestors have also been transmitted to us, and they stay in this deepest level of our consciousness called alaya, as well as the experiences we've had at school, growing up, at work. So daily life, as well as the past, plants these seeds. They're called seeds or bijas. Plants these seeds in our consciousness. And all of the seeds like to sleep. They have non-stop lazy days. Non-stop gra matine. Non-stop. They sleep until they are woken up. Now what makes the seeds wake up? Something that we receive through our sense organs. Our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, our body, and our thoughts. So we're constantly receiving input from the environment. And the input comes into our sense organs, goes into, well, obviously the brain, yeah, but the consciousness is perhaps the brain, perhaps not, but all right, consciousness. And whatever is the nature of the stimulus, what we have seen, heard, smelled, taste, touch, whatever is that nature, whether it's a strong impression or a very light impression, it will have an effect on everything that is stored in the depth of our consciousness. Sometimes we hear a little bird tweet, tweet. It's a very light sound, so it's not such a strong impression. But if we like the bird song, even a tiny little tweet will go down and water happiness seed. Okay, so we have seeds of happiness and suffering based on experiences we've already had and our ancestors have had. There have been wars worldwide. So those experiences are stored, also transmitted. The great suffering. There's been famine, unemployment, etc. But there are also wonderful seeds. Seeds of happiness and joy. The mindfulness practices bring peace and joy. Being in an environment that is beautiful and supportive waters the happiness seeds in us. The seeds of freedom, joy, hope, and aspiration. So I describe these seeds. They are staying there. We're not aware of them. Right now I'm not aware of any particular emotion. Maybe you are, maybe not. But when you see something or hear something that is similar enough to a prior experience that you had, maybe as a child, a wounded child. We have the inner child, the inner child in us. That means the child, all the experiences we had as a child are stored there. And it only takes a particular look or watching a particular film, and those experiences may be activated and they come up into our conscious mind in the form of an emotion, a mental formation. So if mother sang a lullaby to you when you were a baby, and you hear the same lullaby as an adult, well, that experience of being lullabied by mommy, that may be very pleasant for you. Okay, so do you understand what I'm trying to explain a little bit? The seeds are there, they need a stimulus to wake them up, and they will manifest in our mind in the terms of an emotion or a thought or whatever. Okay, so I'll draw this circle now, and I want to introduce the way that we can learn how to support one another in relationships, how to be there for myself, also there for the other person, other people, by knowing about these seeds and which seeds we should water. Which seeds will bring happiness, joy, freedom, and peace. And this is called the practice of selective watering. It's also known as the practice of right diligence. And this is a word that is used in the 4th mindfulness training, which actually concerns communication, the impact of language on the consciousness my own consciousness and the other person's consciousness. I will practice right diligence. So it has a general sense of continuing. I will do this very diligently. I will prepare breakfast every morning very diligently with love. And it has a more technical meaning in terms of Buddhist psychology, which means understanding the seeds in the stored consciousness and knowing how watering a particular seed will give happiness or suffering. So please allow me to dismount from this place. There are two ways to do it. One is to stand up and to walk down the stairs. But I'm afraid I'm going to fall off the stairs, so I choose the dismounting in another way. I won't really fall off the stairs, but I prefer this way better. So, all right, so we'll look now at the model of the mind that Thai has given to us in many of his Dharma talks. So, Thai has described there is a living room and the basement of the mind. Okay? If you want to shorten that, you call it the upstairs and the downstairs. Meaning there are two levels. I've just described the deepest level that contains these little seeds. So these are tiny little seeds. Put them everywhere. Many seeds, many experiences. Well, how can we name them? We don't know actually all the seeds that are there. We don't know which seeds are there until they manifest. I didn't know it was spring until I saw the pacorets. They manifested from the earth. They came up. I didn't know the seeds of the dandelion were there deep in Mother Earth until they came up and manifested. So we'll be witnessing a lot of manifestation in spring. It's the time for blooming, for manifestation, for coming up with the sunshine, the warm air, the change in the climate. All right, manifestation. So we have seeds here, and then we have our sense organs, our eyes, our ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Now, I described that, let me just identify them. Eyes, our sense organs, ears, sense organs through which we are in touch with the world. Okay, so with our ears we hear language, yes. So let's take a situation where someone speaks unkindly to us, and it goes down. The sound will water a previous experience we've had when someone has spoken unkindly to us. All right? If we've never had an experience where someone spoke unkindly to us, then that seed will stay there. It won't manifest. because there has been no prior experience to wake it up. But if we have had experience as a child, for example, or in school, when someone speaks unkindly, it will go down and water a particular seed here, and this seed will manifest in the mind as a mental formation. What shall we call this? When someone speaks unkindly, do we feel sad or discouraged or angry, fearful? Depends on you. But if the stimulus was strong enough, it will wake up a particular seed and it will manifest in terms of an emotion, and we'll feel something, pleasant or unpleasant. At this point, when we have this feeling, maybe sadness, we just call it sadness. It could be something else. We're aware. Mindfulness lets us be aware that I have this feeling and I feel sad because he or she spoke to me that way. I feel sad. What shall we do? We stay with the sadness. Of course, we recognize it. We embrace it. We don't deny it. We don't push it away. We embrace it. How can we embrace our sadness? We have a wonderful seed here called mindfulness. It's an energy, and it's always ready to come to the rescue. So mindfulness is a rescue energy. It's more, but it's a rescue energy. It's a stabilizing energy. It's a nourishing enemy. No, it's not an enemy. Energy. If you have an enemy, you need your mindfulness. It will protect you. So mindfulness, protective energy, nourishing energy, stabilizing energy, okay? Transforming energy, embracing energy. So mindfulness is everything. It's everything wonderful under the sun. So we invite our mindfulness seed. How do we invite our mindfulness energy to be present? Stop. I breathe in, I breathe out. As simple as that. Nothing more. But if we're feeling real sad or real upset, then we want to breathe a few more times, okay? Stay with your breath. Because part of being able to transform this energy is being able to calm our mind. So we calm our mind through mindful breathing and mindful walking, relaxation, even lying down and taking a nap. Because I've experienced when I've had a very, very strong emotion, something really from the past, from my ancestors. It's so strong. The best thing I could do was to lie down. I take a nap, and then I wake up and I'm fine, refreshed. Sometime if the suffering is so great in me, I know I'm just having a very, very strong reaction. I know, and I say to myself, okay, this is at the level of my ancestors. It's not just me. It is me, and it's my ancestors' suffering in me that has been activated. So I do my breathing and my walking, and it helps, but not enough. So what to do when all of that is not enough? I lie down, take a nap. I say, I don't feel well. It's true. Take a nap, lie down, and then somehow everything is balanced out. The store consciousness and the body work it out. And when I wake up, I feel better. Just everything has sort of been cleared. So we're here with the seed of sadness that has been watered by someone speaking unkindly. So we have a seed of mindfulness, and we know how to activate, wake up mindfulness. Come on, mindfulness to the rescue. Let's go. So mindfulness will come and recognize sadness and embrace it. Okay, this is mindfulness. This energy. Mindfulness is awareness. So I'm embracing my feeling with awareness. I'm calming it with mindful breathing. And when mindfulness is present, the feeling will be diminished. The feeling will be transformed, and the sadness will then go back to the store consciousness. It won't stay forever, because the emotions, everything is impermanent. Okay, so this is very, very wonderful. The emotions are not forever, but to be able to transform difficult emotions, mindfulness is very, very helpful, useful, and recommended that mindfulness be there. It works for happiness. Oh, so yes, I smelled the beautiful hyacinth flowers. Wow. And I also saw the beautiful flowers blooming. Okay, so our sense organs receive wonderful impressions as well. And when I saw the beautiful hyacinth and smelled the fragrance as I was walking by, wow, that was a seed of happiness in me. So it activated happiness, and it manifested because the impression was strong enough. Okay? And then H is for happiness. Okay. Now, if I bring my mindfulness energy to be present when I'm happy, do you know what happens? Happiness increases. Breathing in, I know I am happy. Breathing out, my happiness is solid. It's established. It's firm. If I'm happy and I don't pay any attention to my happiness, it flows away without meaning. Okay, so we bring our mindfulness energy also to the experience of happiness. Now we've learned from Thai that when mindfulness is present for positive emotion, that seed will grow stronger at the base of your consciousness. It'll become firmer, more solid. When mindfulness is present, when we have a more negative or mental formation of suffering, when mindfulness is present, it will help that seed go back in a smaller form. The energy is reduced. The strength of that seed is diminished. So mindfulness is sort of a universal remedy, making the positive stronger and diminishing the negative. So, all right, we have this model of the mind, and now we want to know what is the practice of right diligence and how this can help our relationships. We have, just for the sake of understanding, we will divide seeds into wholesome and unwholesome, okay? Just to simplify it. Things are sometimes not totally wholesome or not totally unwholesome, but just to simplify, we'll describe them this way, wholesome. So we have these now two categories. The wholesome seeds, such as love, peace, compassion, patience, forgiveness, etc. You make your own list, okay, of things that you find very wonderful and wholesome. Wholesome seeds. Unwholesome seeds, well, what are that? Okay, I heard the word anger. Hard to find unwholesome seeds, isn't it? We only know wholesome seeds here. Prejudice, something like that. Discrimination, that means you're really judging. Discrimination. Yeah, we know violence. Anybody know of an unwholesome seed? Fear? Yeah, fear. Gee, we've been here already almost 1 week and no more unwholesome seeds. We don't know any. That's good. Fear. Okay. Blaming, that makes us sad. Okay, so maybe that list is enough for now. So, with the practice of diligence, right diligence, what we want to do is invite the wholesome seeds. In the consciousness of the other person and in your own consciousness. By saying their good qualities, by saying to yourself, yeah, I was able to do it this time. I was able to walk for 20 minutes in the morning. I was able to just listen quietly. I didn't react. So you invite your wholesome seeds to manifest by words, by thoughts. Okay? You invite these wholesome seeds to come up, right? From the store consciousness. And you keep them there as long as possible. So keep thinking these nice thoughts. Okay? Keep them there. If you enjoy painting, continue to paint. Okay, you enjoy poetry, writing poetry, continue to write. Because these are activities that bring up your happiness and your joy and your peace. Whatever you love to do, do it. Gardening. Okay? Invite them up, do what you love to do that is wholesome, and continue to do it. Okay, unwholesome seeds. Well, you can guess. Don't invite them to come. They're not welcome guests usually. So don't invite unwholesome seeds. So how do we not invite unwholesome seeds? Well, we pay attention to the words we use and our actions. So we will not criticize anyone, call them names. We won't say, why didn't you do this, that, and the other? We will not be accusing or judgmental. We'll pay attention to how we speak to others. And we'll try to water their wholesome seeds by sharing appreciations. Thank you so much, darling, for your presence. Thank you for staying in the family. Well, you know what words. You can even say this to your boss in a nice way. I appreciate so much working for your company. Okay? So you're not going to say, why don't you give me a raise? That's maybe not wholesome. That could be received in a different way. Don't invite the wholesome seeds. If by chance they are watered, by mistake, you said something or done something, well, they're there, but help them to go back right away. Don't keep them there with continual talking. This is particularly true in the case of an argument with someone. Two people have the same energy of dispute, conflict. So if the two people continue to talk to each other, when maybe one is angry and the other is only irritated, but they're sharing this energy, what's going to happen? The unwholesome seeds in both are being watered, they will manifest, and as long as the talking continues, those unwholesome seeds will stay there. Why not? They're being watered. Why not? They won't go back. They're being watered. So, what we want to do is help the unwholesome seed go back as soon as possible. As soon as possible. As soon as possible, help them return. To sleeping. How do we get anything to go to sleep? Can you make a cat go to sleep? Or a dog or a baby? Well, the first step is to change the topic. I call it changing the CD. Put your attention on something else. You can say, darling, can we enjoy the beautiful sunshine? So you both go outside and walk. Okay? So you stop talking, obviously. Stop the watering somehow. I call it changing the CD. If you don't like the music on one CD, you take it off, you put on a different CD, different music. So it's helpful if both people know about this, and it's still possible to practice unilateral reconciliation, Tai calls it. You can practice this yourself without the other person knowing about it or having to practice, because you will be aware of what's happening. Is it wholesome or unwholesome, our conversation? If it's unwholesome, we can stop. How do we stop? Maybe you'll say, I don't know, it's up to you. Darling, shall we practice hugging meditation? That will, maybe not, I don't know. Depends on the nature of the unwholesome seeds. But you can stop. You can just stop talking and listen. Or you can say, excuse me, darling, I have to go to the restroom. Okay? So you cut the watering. You change the situation for yourself because you're practicing to protect you and the other person from augmenting, from strengthening these unwholesome seeds. So it's a nice practice, just to be aware. We can make a list of the things we usually say that are wholesome, or things we usually say that could be received as unwholesome. So how someone receives our words depends on the seeds they have, their prior experiences. It could be our tone of voice that has set off a reaction in them without our meaning anything. So this is what happens, enough that we don't really mean any kind of suffering, but it was the way we spoke, our facial expression, a word we used, a simple word, and it triggered an unwholesome feeling in the other person. So communication is important in relationships, and there's something called a happiness treaty that Thai wanted us to create, and that is, in addition to the peace treaty, which is the practice when two people feel angry, they agree they won't talk anymore. They'll stop, come back to themselves, practice calming their mind with mindful walking, mindful breathing, and agree to meet at a future time when both are calm to talk about the situation that brought anger. That's the peace treaty, to create more peace in our heart, in our mind, in our relationship. Happiness treaty has not been written or printed yet, but we can share about it because Thai shared it, is that it's a treaty where the two people or a group of people agree to not water the unwholesome seeds in other people. Okay? Happiness treaty, we don't water these seeds. So it takes some knowing and sharing. And for the happiness treaty, we agree to water the wholesome seeds. Okay? So it's called selective watering. Happiness treaty means we're going to select which seeds to water. Selective watering. So we pay attention to what is wholesome. We don't pay attention to what is unwholesome in general. So that practice for happiness treaty, if someone wants to write it up for us, we're happy. It's one of these many things we have to do, but not enough time, called we do selective watering. Of wholesome seeds in one another. So our practice isn't perfect. We'll make mistakes, and when we make a mistake, we say, I'm sorry. We can do beginning anew, and we apologize. We let the person know the difficulty we're having, why we spoke that way or did that. Okay, so we have the practice of beginning anew and forgiveness. So this happiness treaty is supported by the practice of beginning anew. Of course, supported by the peace treaty and practice of beginning anew. And with beginning anew, we can forgive. And that is so beautiful and essential. If we can't forgive, how can we continue? So all of this takes time. And I don't know if it can all be accomplished in the present moment. So we want to extend our practice to beyond the present moment. Of course, we are centered in the present moment, but know that practice is for our whole life. It's wonderful. We have many ways to support the happiness and well-being of one another, our friends, our family, our Sangha members, our neighbors, supporting Mother Earth. And we believe that knowing this and practicing selective watering is a great step, a great contribution to creating more peace, happiness, love, compassion, joy, and well-being in ourselves, being there for ourselves, but also being there for the other. And if we want to bring this practice into our daily lives, it's possible. It's not so complicated. We begin by being there for ourselves, taking space, walking, calming our mind, and looking deeply to find out what emotion has come up, what are the causes, because everything has causes, many causes. So we look deeply to see the roots. Are the roots there in my past, my childhood, my ancestors? Are the roots there as well as my situation in the present moment, at work, with neighbors? We really want to find out as much as we can about the roots, the causes. The Buddha said, everything needs food to exist. Everything needs nourishment. So my happiness needs wholesome seeds watered. That's the food of happiness, to water wholesome seeds. The suffering is nourished by watering negative, unwholesome seeds. So we practice being present, listening deeply, understanding, and we find that the 5 mindfulness trainings are an enormous aid to us in knowing what will bring happiness in 5 domains of our life. The happiness is there in each training, as well as the causes of suffering. So the wholesome and the unwholesome can be found in every training. So you just look, try to identify, aware of the suffering caused by, okay, unwholesome. I am determined to practice deep listening, loving speech, wholesome. If we want to extend our practice to be able to have the support of friends and friends who share the same values and aspirations, we can think in terms of finding friends who share these values and aspirations. In Plum Village, there are sanghas really everywhere, almost everywhere in the world now. In France, there are, I think, more than 80 sanghas. So we have a page that will list where you can find a sangha in worldwide, but also in the European countries. And there's also the wake-up sanghas for people of your age, 18 to 30s, right? Just about everyone. Wake up, and that's very wonderful for people. You don't have to be Buddhist, and it doesn't mean you become Buddhist if you go to a wake-up group. It's for everyone. So there's this page. I don't know if the camera can put it online, too small. Okay, but this is, I'll leave this page here. You can take a picture with your device if you're interested, knowing where you can find a sangha to continue your mindfulness practice with support in the country you go to next. And then if you're interested on bringing happiness and relieving the suffering of animals, and if you want to practice mindful eating to create better health, we believe, to some extent, you can go online and learn more from these websites on vegetarian and vegan diets to protect your health and the lives of animals and Mother Earth. You can look at these websites, have a look in different languages. In France, Italy, Holland, Germany, Spain, Italy even. So these are available for you. So dear friends, I thank you for your listening this morning. Let's enjoy the beauty of spring now, the wonderful present moment, for our next activity, which will be walking meditation. When you hear the big temple bell, we'll gather at the bell tower for singing, and then we'll enjoy walking. And then I think there's some more announcements. So just thank you for your patience in hearing more announcements. We'll end by listening to 3 sounds of the bell.